to $10,000 miscellaneous. Fire emojis in the subject line. $40,000 plus $25,000 plus $12,000, $10,000. That gives you a whopping $93,500. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Antonio Edwards here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the spreads going into a real estate investing deal. So I know there's a lot of wholesalers out here that send wholesale deals out, right? And I want to help you out when you're sending out your deal, right? So when you send a deal to myself or investors, we back out of deals or we pass up on deals because of these type of situations. So I want to give you the numbers and break down the numbers on a rehab property. So when you send out your deal as a wholesaler, you know what you're sending out and you're confident that that buyer is going to buy your deal. So let's talk about it, right? This is super critical as a wholesaler when you're sending out deals. And as an investor, if you're buying the property before you go into the deal, you got to know these numbers. So let's talk about a typical deal I see in today's market that's going out from wholesalers to investors. So this is a recent deal that went out that I passed up on, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. So purchase price is 150K, was 150,000. ARV is 250. The spread was 100K spread. Now, in most cases, most people gonna be like, that's a deal, right? 150K purchase price. That includes the wholesaler's assignment fee in that deal that was sent out. At the repair value, ARV, meaning what the property is worth, fully fixed up, fully remodeled, right? It's 250. That's 100K spread, but the 100K spread is gross, right? That's not the net. So I really want you to hone in on that. When you see when somebody says spread, or you see that in your email from a wholesaler, or maybe an agent may send you a deal, but when somebody sends you a deal and it says like 200K spread, 100K spread, that is the gross number. But what is coming out of those that spread, and what is my net? Because all I care about at the end of the day, and all you should care about at the end of the day as an entrepreneur, is what is my net, my N-E-T, my net, not the gross, but my net. So on this deal, I did some little due diligence. The rehab automatically is going to cost 40K. So that deducts from the 100K, right? It's going to cost 5K just to buy property. Now, what do I mean by 5K just to buy? So I'm just going to say most investors, so if you're a wholesaler watching, this is very important. Cost of money, I think most wholesalers leave out what the cost of money is of what that fix and flipper, what that investor is going to attain on that. Like, what is their cost of money? And on average, I like to say on average, let's say 12%, annualized 12% interest off the cost of money in 2 points up front. So just say that. Let me pull out my calculator real quick. So just say 150K. It's just use simple numbers. You just say 150 plus 40, right? That's 190. So just say 195 for shits and giggles. $195,000 that investor, that fix and flipper or rehabber is going to borrow. So 195,000 times 2 points. That is $3,900. $3,900 just off that, right? Then you got to add their closing costs to buy it. So just add another $1,100 to that, plus $1,100. That's $5,000. And that's conservative. I mean, it might be a little more than that, right? So let's say 5K just about. 2 points up front plus $1,100. Closing costs off $195,000 loan. 150 plus 40, and just say they borrow an extra $5,000. Now you got to factor in the cost to sell the property. $25,000 just to sell the property. Let's break that down. So just say ARV, that's the selling point, right? This is the the sales price, 250, because the ARV, what's it worth fixed up, is 250, right? This is this also your ARV and also your sales price fixed up. So sales price fixed up. So now I gotta sell it. So what is it gonna cost? So you have to factor in those numbers. So let's do $250,000 times 6%. That's $15,000. And you might be asking, Antonio, what is 6%? So you have to list the property with a listing agent. That's 3%. And once it's listed on the MLS with the listing agent, that's going to attract buyer's agents. So there you get your buyer's agent that's going to bring in a buyer. That buyer's agent is going to want 3%. So you got 3% from the listing agent, 3% from the buyer's agent, a total of 6%. So that's $15,000. But hey, Antonio, you said $25,000. So where's the other $10,000? So that buyer comes in, they walk your fixed up $250,000 sales price property, and they're like, oh, I like this property. Let me ask for closing cost assistance. Let me ask, because you're the seller. You're selling, when you got on the market, you're the seller now, right? Let me ask the seller for a closing cost assistance. So I like to factor in the 4% of the closing cost assistance, assuming that the buyer that's going to come in that. So what I usually do, so now we're going back to the $250,000 sales price. So it's not just 6%, 3% to the buyer's, your listing agent, and 3% to the buyer's agent. You add another 4% for the buyer that come in that's going to ask you for closing cost assistance, meaning they're going to want you to pay about 4% of their closing costs. So $250,000 times 0.10% is $25,000 just to sell it, right? Now you got your $12,000, which is the cost of the money. Pay 2 points up front. Remember from the hard money, because on average, I'm going to say fix and flippers usually pay 2 points, 12% annualized. So it's 12% just for your cost of money. So $12,000 just the cost of money, which is 12%. So 12%, just say you borrowed 150 plus 40, 190 plus extra 5. Just say you borrowed again 195. 195 times 0.12 is $23,400. That's for the entire 12 months. The two things that most real estate investors and wholesalers hate the most in this business is doing repairs to the properties and dealing with tenants. You know what I'm talking about. You know those burnt out landlords that most of you are watching this video that are targeting for your deals? They're burnt out landlords for a reason. I used to be a burnt out landlord until I found this model as a loophole for buy and hold real estate called the slow flip formula. And what is a slow flip formula? The slow flip formula is a model where you get to buy a property, not do any repairs to the property, unlike a landlord would do repairs to that property. And instead of us leasing that property out and being on the hook for the leaky toilet call and becoming a landlord, we are owner financing that property with the slow flip model, and we become the bank. That is the best thing you can ever become in real estate, is the bank. And that is with the slow flip model, you are able to do that. So I want to show you how the slow flip model works. You can go into these markets, you can buy 40, 50, 60K properties that need a little bit of TLC, not tear downs or anything like that. And you can buy these based off pictures using the slow flip model like my students and I do. And I want to offer you this, right, and learn this model with my 8-step checklist. This 8-step checklist is going to give you the 8 steps to finding and buying your first slow flip in a virtual market. Now, I live in LA. I buy properties in the Midwest and East Coast. I don't fly there to buy these properties. I look at pictures. And because of the slow flip model, because I'm not doing any repairs, I'm not dealing with tenants, I'm the bank, I'm able to buy these properties just looking at pictures. And I want to show you how to do this and generate the monthly cash flow and live off that cash flow using the slow flip formula. So you can go to slowflipformula.com or somewhere below. You can click the link and get access to this 8-step checklist for free. I'll see you on the other side. But just say the time you bought this property, you fix it up, blah, 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 blah. It took, and resold it, found a buyer, all that, took 6 months. So I'm gonna divide this 23/4, which is how much it'll cost me if I had that property as a fix and flipper for a year, but we're not, we're gonna just say 6 months. I'm just gonna divide it by 2, because that's 6 months. That's $11,700. So it's gonna cost, I just rounded up to $12,000, just your cost of money on the 12% at $195,000 loan. So now you gotta factor in, just to keep it simple, $1,500 for taxes and insurance. And it may be a little more than that, actually, maybe a little less, but I'll just say a little more. $1,500 for just taxes and insurance off this property, right? For 150K property, I'm just gonna throw $1,500 in there. That's about average, right? And then, which some wholesalers miss out on a project that needs about 40K in rehab, I'm gonna factor in about 10K in miscellaneous. And you're probably asking, okay, Antonio, what is miscellaneous? Miscellaneous is you gotta have your utilities on during that 6 months, because remember I said you're gonna hold it for about 6 months. Your lights, your electric, right? Gas, your water. You may maintenance on outside with the upkeep outside with the grass being cut, the lawn, all of that, right? And also, very important, what if your contractors go in, tear down the walls, and there's a oops? I call it oops. So you gotta add an extra $7,500, give or take, for a project like this on oops. $500 to $7,500 plus your utilities. So I'll go ahead and round this up to $10,000 miscellaneous, just in case some hiccups come up, because they always come up in the rehab. rehab. Always going to come up. Even in new developments, it's always something. It is always something. Remember this for people that never done a renovation project in their life. It's always going to be something that comes up in a renovation project. I don't care if you've been doing this for 30 years. Always going to be something that comes up in a renovation. So the more experienced you become, you already know to add that into your numbers, your miscellaneous or your oops. So let's add this all up. Remember, we started with a 100K spread. This deal went out and came out, email, fire emojis in the subject line, 100K spread deal. Open it up, 150K purchase price, 250, blah, blah, blah. Great deals. It's gonna go fast. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, right, not a good deal. So let's add this up. So we got $40,000 rehab plus $5,000 to buy plus $25,000 to sell plus $12,000 for the cost of your money plus $1,500 for the taxes and insurance plus $10,000 for your miscellaneous. That gives you a whopping $93,500 in overhead or expenses to get this deal done. These are your numbers right here that's going to come out of your 100K spread, which leaves you with a $6,500. This is approximately, right? This is just a prox number, $6,500 net profit on this deal in 6 months. This is about 6 months. It's about 6 months, guys. So you got to ask yourself, is this worth as a fix and flipper going in trying to rehab a property, give it a take? I like to be conservative. I never like to go and like, I get this deal done in 2 months. I factor in 6 months because just me doing a lot of deals over time. Just factor in 6 months to be safe, right? So is $6,500 worth your time? No, it's not a good deal. This is a bad deal. What would make this a good deal is if it was 150K purchase price and being these numbers here, and these numbers have changed a little bit because of the cost of money and whatnot, right? And also the to sell, but not as much. But if the ARV was minimum 300K, like guaranteed 300K and up, this would be a good solid base hit, not a home run, but a base hit deal where you can go in and you can make around about 50K net if it was a 300K ARV. But in this case, it was about 250K ARV. So this is a no deal. So a lot of deals that's going out today that are 100K spread, that are needing 40K rehabs and whatnot, they're not good deals. So do your numbers. I hope this helps out a lot of people with breaking down the numbers on rehab. Click the link in my description right now if you want to learn more about real estate. I can help you out, especially with like the buy and hold slow flip model where we'll have to deal with tenants and be a landlord. That is a great way to attain cash flow in real estate. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.